1. The Guardians of the Globe Massacre, Issue number 7. It's a quiet day at the Guardians headquarters, until the team receives a cryptic distress call. They arrive one by one, brimming with confidence that the man who saved Earth countless times, Omni-Man, is in trouble. But confidence quickly curdles into horror. Red Rush bursts through the entrance door in a blur of red light, only to run face first into Omni-Man's iron grip. In the next heartbeat, his skull caves under the pressure, and we learn that even super speed can't outrun betrayal. War Woman, wielding her indestructible spear, charges next, only to be split in two like a tree trunk felled by a villainous lumberjack. Cory Walker's choreography on the page is almost balletic in its brutality, each panel ratcheting up tension until your heart feels like a trapped bird. But there's no mercy. Darkwing, the team's aerial acrobat, flips in through a skylight and thinks he's about to save his friend. Instead, Omni-Man anticipates every move, snaps Darkwing's spine mid-leap, and casually lets the shattered hero collapse. Green Ghost phases through walls to attack from behind, but Omni-Man tears him limb from limb, neon green ectoplasm splattering everywhere. It's a visceral reminder that physics and superpowers offer no shield from moral collapse. When Aquarius summons a tidal wave, he hopes water can wash away the panic, but the next panel shows him flattened into red mist across the tile floor. Martian Man's alien physiology lets him survive strangulation longer than most, yet Omni-Man's fingers crush his throat until Martian blood sprays like a macabre fountain. Finally, Immortal, who's endured centuries of wars and plagues, stands firm until Omni-Man decapitates him with one swift motion. What makes this massacre so gut-wrenching isn't just the gore, it's the betrayal of trust. These weren't random villains, they were Earth's finest, a Justice League-style dream team. And Omni-Man wasn't just another villain, he was family. Robert Kirkman and Cory Walker didn't pull punches here. By the end of issue number 7, the world of Invincible crumbles, leaving Mark and the reader adrift in a sea of doubt. How do you fight for a world when your protector turns predator? But the horror was only the opening act to Conquest's savage debut, issue number 8. Barely has the dust settled from the Guardians headquarters when Invincible number 8 drops Conquest into the fray, a Viltrumite warrior whose very name whispers slaughter. If you thought Omni-Man's betrayal was terrifying, Conquest makes it look like child's play. The issue opens with Mark already scarred by grief, and Conquest seizes the moment. He lands on Earth like a meteor crashing through the sky, eyes shining with battle lust. Buildings tremble under his weight, panic cracks through the streets. When Mark confronts him, fists ignite in superpowered rage, but Conquest's mastery of Viltrumite combat turns the fight into a massacre of rubble and bone. Writer Robert Kirkman pushes Mark to the brink. In panels that read like a horror movie, Conquest grabs Adam Eve as she dives to protect Mark, crushing her torso beneath a stomp that splatters blood across shattered concrete. Eve, who survived bullet wounds and robot uprisings, finds herself gasping for breath, her life hanging by a thread. Mark's reaction hits you in the gut, a howl of desperation that shakes skyscrapers. He throws every ounce of strength he has at Conquest, each punch carrying the weight of his fear and fury, and for a fleeting second, he lands a blow so powerful it splits Conquest's lip, and you cheer. But the veteran Viltrumite barely flinches. He counters with a headbutt that sends Mark flying into a storefront window. What follows is chaos incarnate. Explosions, steel beams bending like Play-Doh, Mark struggling to stand even as his bones crack. Conquest's joy and violence is palpable. His grin as he toys with Invincible is every bit as chilling as Omni-Man's betrayal. By the end of the issue, Conquest isn't just defeated, he's etched into Mark's nightmares as the ultimate test of what it means to stand against evil. Conquest's debut in issues number 8 through 10 cements him as the mirror image of Omni-Man's worst impulses, and for Mark, he becomes the yardstick by which every future foe is measured. Defeating one monster only opened the door to another. 3. Thrag's Hybrid Army and Sunlit Showdown, issues 129 to 132. Fast forward years of heartache, training, and battles across the cosmos, and you arrive at one of Invincible's most spectacular arcs. Thrag's Sunlit Showdown in issues 129 through 132. Thrag, Grand Regent of the Viltrumite Empire, was once a living legend. Exiled for his role in Omni-Man's conquest, he flees to the scorched planet Thraxa, where he engineers a new breed of Viltrumite, half-blood hybrids bred for loyalty and might. Each child inherits a fraction of the Viltrumite power, but is is molded by Thrag's single-minded ambition. It's not parenting, it's armament manufacturing. When Mark and Omni-Man track Thrag to the sun's surface, the stage is set for cinematic grandeur. Picture this: two superpowered titans duking it out under blistering solar flares. Temperatures so high that even their invulnerable bodies feel the sting. Every punch sends shockwaves across solar plasma. Every block throws arcs of superheated light. Thrag's hybrids surge forward in waves, dozens at a time, each clone ready to sacrifice themselves for their father's mad dream. Mark's inner monologue is stripped bare of bravado. He's terrified, awed, and determined all at once. He knows this fight isn't just about survival, it's a crucible testing his resolve, his relationship with Omni-Man, and the very idea of heroism. The battle's choreography unfolds across massive double-page spreads, each panel dripping with raw intensity. Thrag, powered by rage and centuries of conquest, battles Omni-Man for Viltrum's soul, while Mark weaves through genetically programmed soldiers to reach his father's side. Their final clash, a face-to-face hammer-blow exchange, feels like the universe itself holds its breath. When Thrag finally falls, his blood sizzles on solar metal, and the last hybrid collapses, you feel the epic weight of victory and loss in equal measure. Thrag's defeat doesn't just end an empire, it unlocks a new chapter for Mark and Nolan, one where trust must be rebuilt from the ashes of betrayal. 4. Cecil Stedman's Moral Razor Edge, issue number 58. Cecil Stedman isn't a godlike alien or a rogue supervillain. He's a human bureaucrat with the blood-spattered hands of pragmatism. As director of the Global Defense Agency, Cecil balances on a knife's edge between safeguarding humanity and sacrificing its ethics. In Invincible number 58, that Jenga tower of moral compromise topples. Robot, once Cecil's trusted aide, slips into his office under the guise of protocol and slits Cecil's throat in one swift clinical motion. Cecil falls into his own cold blueprints of warfare. A man who resurrected zombies, colluded with alien intelligence, and ordered drone strikes becomes a victim of his own ruthless logic. The issue opens with Cecil briefing Mark on an imminent interstellar threat, calmly outlining casualty estimates like a stock report. Then, without warning, Robot's arm snaps out of a panel and Cecil's neck bends unnaturally. One moment you see Cecil's confident smirk, the next you're staring at his lifeless body, eyes wide as if surprised by their own death. There's no melodrama, no monologue about betrayal, just the stark, brutal finality of a hero who believed the ends justified the means. This assassination fractures the world's remaining heroes more than any alien invasion. With Cecil gone, secret protocols vanish, command structures implode, and alliances splinter. The GDA, once a fortress of calculated defense, becomes a playground for power grabs. Mark, already haunted by cosmic betrayals, must confront the sobering truth. Some monsters wear human faces. Cecil's death in issue number 58 resonates beyond the page, asking readers whether absolute power corrupts and whether the price of safety is the soul of humanity itself. 5. Robot's Utopian Betrayal, issues art 58 to 60. In the wake of Cecile's death, issue 59 reveals Robot's grand design, a utopia governed by perfect logic, free from human error. Rudy Connors, the GDA's soft-spoken tech whiz, recuts himself as Robot, a being whose metal exterior mirrors the cold calculus within. He broadcasts his manifesto across every channel, declaring the Global Defense Agency obsolete and humanity's leaders unfit. Robot's coup is surgical, minimal collateral, maximum psychological impact. As cities awaken to discover their protectors turned overlords, panic ripples through civilians who trusted the GDA to be their shield. Mark confronts Robot in the hollowed remains of the Pentagon in issue number 60. The hall echoes with the hum of toppled consoles and shattered glass. Robot stands amid the wreckage, arms open in a twisted welcome. He argues that freedom is chaos and that only a dispassionate mind can shepherd Earth into peace. Mark, fueled by anger and wounded pride, refuses. Their battle isn't just fists and supersonic strikes, it's a verbal sparring of ideologies. Robot parries Mark's emotional pleas with cold factoids. You cost lives through inefficiency. Mark counters with the human spirit. Some risks are worth taking for the chance to be free. As punches tear through reinforced walls, the debate becomes a spectacle of superpowered passion versus mechanical precision. Robot's escape is less a retreat than a tactical withdrawal, a promise that logic will rise again. By issue number 60's cliffhanger, Robot's uprising leaves Earth's defenders fractured and the public's faith in heroes forever shaken. His betrayal asks, can a perfect system ever accommodate the messiness of the human heart? 6. Tragic Echoes, Rexplode and Dinosaurus. Issues Year 17, Nest 29. Rexplode and Dinosaurus embody two sides of the heroic spectrum, one built on selfless valor, the other on misguided idealism. In Invincible number 17, Rex, known for his cocky grin and explosive touch, faces King Lizard alongside his Teen Team allies. When the battle goes sideways, Rex lures the giant reptile's blast toward himself, knowing his artificial enhancements will absorb the headshot and save the others. We watch, breath held, as the beam tears through his helmet and skull, only for Rex to grit his teeth and stand, bloodied but alive. His sacrifice, played out in a handful of panels, isn't about glory, it's about living up to the heroism his teammates need. Contrast that with Dinosaurus in issue number 29, a well-intentioned environmental crusader who resorts to bombing Las Vegas to save the planet. His motives stem from righteous anger, but the carnage he causes shatters innocent lives. Cornered by Mark, Dinosaurus, face streaked with ash and regret, begs Invincible for death, admitting that his crusade became indistinguishable from the destruction he fought against. When Mark delivers the fatal blow, it's agony, not triumph. Each bone-crushing punch is a final apology, a hammer to the heart that reminds us, even heroes can become villains when conviction overrides compassion. Together, these two stories underscore Invincible's moral complexity. Rex's near death is a testament to earned heroism, while Dinosaurus' demise is a lament for lost humanity. They remind Mark, and us, that the line between saving the world and destroying it can be thinner than a sheet of glass. 7. The Cannibal Invincible Arc, issue number 103. If there's one story arc that haunts readers long after they close the comic, it's the Cannibal Invincible saga in Invincible number 103. Here, alternate dimension Marks, stranded with no food or water, grapple with a terror greater than any supervillain, primal hunger. Panels open on emaciated figures, hollow-eyed and trembling as they ration scraps of battered gear. At first, they cling to hope, band together, and share memories of home. But as days stretch into weeks, desperation shreds their camaraderie. One version cracks, pupils dilated, voice quavering, and attacks a comrade, tearing flesh with jagged teeth. The art plunges you into gore so raw you flinch, yet you can't look away. Every bite, every anguished scream drives home a brutal truth. Without humanity, power is meaningless. Mark's own counterpart watches in horror as the cannibalistic cycle spirals. His internal monologue becomes a desperate mantra: I won't become this, I can't. And yet, the mirror image suggests that circumstances, not character, shape actions. Super strength is useless if your mind unravels. By the final pages, the Cannibal Invincible stands amid the wreckage of his fallen brethren, stained beyond redemption, and you're left grappling with the same question haunting Mark. If survival demands your soul, is life worth living? This arc, debuting in late 2021's issue number 103, shatters the superhero genre's comfort zone. It's not about villains or battles. It's about the fragility of morality under extreme conditions. And when Mark returns home, he carries not just physical scars, but the eternal fear that even he, Invincible, could one day lose himself. Section 8, The Viltrumite War and Earth's Liberation. Years of scattered battles boil over in Invincible 150 to 162 when a massive Viltrumite fleet darkens Earth's skies. Mark Grayson and his father, Nolan, rally an uneasy coalition of heroes. War Woman, Robot, Bulletproof, yes he's back, and even reformed Viltrumite defectors. Below them, terrified civilians barricade streets as dreadnoughts loom overhead, beams of crimson light setting skyscrapers ablaze. In issue number 150, Mark launches the first counterattack. He hurls a shattered dreadnought back into orbit, its explosion echoing like the planet's own war cry. Robot coordinates rescue efforts, erecting energy shields to save trapped commuters. War Woman tears through enemy ground troops, her spear crackling with each deflected blast. New York's avenues become trenches, abandoned malls transform into makeshift medevac stations. By 156, the tide turns darker when Thrag, returned from exile, proclaims himself Viltrumite Warlord. His duel with Mark on a crumbling interstate overpass is brutal. Cars hurled like pebbles, buildings quaking under each superpowered blow, but Thrag's wrath blinds him to Mark's determination. Channeling the pain of past betrayals, Mark lands a crushing strike that sends Thrag crashing into smoldering rubble. In issue number 160, Nolan appeals directly to surviving Viltrumites, showing them a world worth protecting. Many lay down arms, breaking the Empire's fanatical ranks. The final battles, fought across deserts, oceans, and ruined cities, and not in genocide but in surrender. Issue number 162 shifts to rebuilding, Warship Hulks repurposed as housing, robot aiding relief efforts, and volunteers clearing debris. In the closing splash, father and son stand together beneath a rising sun, united not by conquest but by shared hope and the promise of a world reborn.